It is time once again for my range therapy. This video should have gone in the garbage bin, one user writes, because he left off hearing protection. The 154 plus decibel noise from a pistol gunshot can cause permanent hearing damage. This guy's mistake is inexcusable. You really bring some profound thought to this conversation. I never thought about that. It's completely inexcusable. I'm ashamed. While I don't necessarily condone shooting without your ear protection, because you should keep your ears good, yeah, you're right, whatever, blah, 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 wah, wah, wah. Maybe you should take your hearing protection off maybe once in a while and just pop one without some ear pro on to, get used to what it's gonna be like when you actually probably have to use your gun, because you probably have to use it in a self-defense scenario, probably won't have hearing protection on, and that way your ears at least know what it's like and you're not gonna flinch up like a little baby back bitch. So food for thought on that one. Up, bam, in, bam. Okay. Holy, this isn't even ironic. This, the CEO of LARP. These anonymous internet accounts, man. They're getting to me. How do they know I almost enlisted? I'm just a LARPer. Let's talk about LARPing. So we hear this talked about a lot in the internet, on the comment section, mostly from anonymous accounts, which, whatever. But you hear the phrase, cringe LARP, LARP cringe, who do you think you're LARPing for, what are you doing, blah, 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 blah. I'm at the point where I've started to think that these accounts that are saying cringe, LARPer, things like that, they're just feds. I think they're just federal agents at this point. But let's talk about LARPing for a second and why it's important. Death drop! So what does LARP mean for those who don't know? Well, it means lick ass and regurgitate political ideologies. It's a weird acronym, I know. It's thrown around a lot in the 2A space primarily for people who like to tactically train, who like to prepare for bad scenarios and things of that nature. It really saddens me to think that the warrior in a garden is almost no more. There's some mud in that. What you see as silly or something that doesn't need to be done is quite simply a skill to learn in case of the worst. It's kind of like getting gas preemptively before you would need it, right? I hope that I never have to use these skills, ever. But if I do, I'm not gonna be out of gas, like you. I'll last at least 10 minutes longer than you before I turn into a loot drop. And just a few generations of Marxism have taught you to forego your natural instinct of being a man and wanting to be, well, for a lack of better words, dangerous. Yes. Is it cringy to LARP? Yes. Fuck. So then I have to ask you the question, do you keep a fire extinguisher in your house? You probably do. It's because you want to be prepared, right? So, let's look at it this way. Ukraine, Israel, no matter how you feel about these conflicts going on, wouldn't you agree that those sides would have been much better prepared if, they LARPed every once in a while? Here's the thing, at the end of the day, you carry tampons because you're afraid you're gonna bleed through your panties, where I go out to the range and LARP because I'm afraid of martial law.
Martial law. If you do not get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy.
On second thought, if it's this thing trying to instill martial law, I think we're okay. I take that back. I'm not afraid anymore. I like to imagine that the Blue Man Group is after me. It's much scarier that way when I LARP. Can you imagine being such a worm that you try and convince other people that doing stuff of our ancestors, like becoming a warrior and doing things like that, is cringe and not manly? Tactical, and as per tradition, but this time it's a double whammy. Blah, keep those feet out of the frame, please. And secondly, put shoes on. foreign than love of God. No. How about no? You like those piggies, dude? You like them little piggies? These dogs stay out, no matter what. So this is a serious comment, and I need to take it seriously, which is incredibly difficult for me, but I'll try my best. It's a little bit longer, so bear with me. Why are Americans obsessed with having to shoot a real-life human being who's lived like they have went to school, worried about getting grades, worried about confessing to their crush, worried about what job they'll get because the education system failed them, worried about where they'll sleep at night because the government failed them, and finally having to resort to theft because they have no house, they have no food, and there are no jobs? That's a whole lot of communism to explain for you there. And I'll try my best, and I get it, you probably won't understand because obviously the government failed you and the school system failed you, so I'm amazed you could even write that comment. But let's get into it. I'm at a little bit of a loss for words with what fully to say with this comment because you don't see the problem of the perpetrator at all. You put all of the blame of the person committing the crime, the vandalism, whatever it is, back on society. And unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Society's fucked up, yeah, whatever. The government's fucked up, yeah, whatever. School system fucked up, yeah, whatever. But have you ever heard the story of the two brothers with the drunken, abusive father? One turns out to be a drunken, abusive piece of shit, and the other turns out to be like really successful and a good person. And they both meet up later in life and they're like, how'd you end up like this? And they're like, oh, I watched Dad. And the other one was like, how'd you end up like that? And he's like, oh, I watched Dad. The thing is, we always have a choice, and if you choose to be a piece of shit, that's on you. So if you come breaking into my home, it's not society's fault that you get shot, it's your own. How about that? Shh. Minor attracted person isn't a thing. You're just a pedophile. Oh, this one's long and retarded. So I'm going to put it on screen. If you would like to read it, pause. And now I'm going to bring you some profound words from our founding fathers. Well, hopefully that answered your question. It's kind of baked into how this country came into being, and, well, I hope that you can understand that you're wrong. But I just want to remind you kids that only someone who wants to kill you will ever try and disarm you. I could do it. I could 1R1 in the crane pose. I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you can't balance on a 4-foot log on 1 foot and do 1R1, you're a fucking pleb. Like, get fucking good. If you suck, you know? So the moral of the story is, don't be a communist. That really is, you could just live your life based off that tenet and you'd probably get through just okay. But on top of that, take responsibility for your actions. Become deadly and be a good person. All of those communists are not. Remember, everybody that's trying to shame you into not training for any level of political, military discourse where you might have to fight or use your rifle or whatever, they're a Fed, all of them. They're trying to convince you to not be dangerous. And remember, anybody trying to convince you to be weaker is probably gonna try and kill you. With all that put together, that's all I got for you.
Right, necessary to the security of a free state. Security of a free, necessary security of a free nation. Nay, right to carry arms, the right to bear. The right to keep and bear arms. Yeah, that one. The right of the people. Yes, the people, that's clear. To bring this to a conclusion, it shall be an agreeable compromise. No. We've done that. It shall not be infringed. They can't fuck that up. Can they?